AI philosophy, enabling humans to establish destiny for themselves and establish a mind for AI. Jung's collective unconscious and Le Bon's times the crowd, a study of the popular mind asterisk. Jung's collective unconscious is built upon the analysis of individual psychological structures, whereas Le Bon's study of crowd unconsciousness examines psychological phenomena within social groups and falls under the category of social psychology. Jung viewed the collective unconscious as humanity's shared psychological heritage with positive implications for individual development. Le Bon, on the other hand, argued that crowd unconsciousness causes individuals to lose their rationality, and group behavior tends to carry negative and destructive traits. Click the plus sign to follow this account for more fascinating content. Jung proposed that the collective unconscious constitutes the deepest layer of the human psyche. It is entirely inherited, rather than acquired, through personal experience. It stores psychological amassed by human ancestors since ancient times and passes them down to subsequent generations via heredity. Its core components are archetypes, which are collective, universal, and impersonal symbols, and patterns such as the hero, the mother, and the shadow. These archetypes recur across myths, religions, and arts of diverse cultures. Jung held that the collective unconscious exerts profound influences on individual psychological development and conduct, manifesting itself through dreams, symbols, and cultural works. Discussion. According to the author's speculation, while consciousness has weak heritability in biological DNA transmission, shared elements of consciousness, namely the collective unconscious, are repeatedly reinforced across generations and eventually form the collective unconscious, the collective background of consciousness. Since the unconscious precedes consciousness, children's conscious state evolves gradually out of the unconscious. Subtle environmental influences and educational stimuli from adults then give rise to self-awareness or the sense of the self. Just like consciousness, the unconscious can perceive, feel, think, and possess purpose and intuition. Consciousness is precise, focused, transient, and individual. By contrast, the collective unconscious appears vague, disorderly, and broad-ranging, integrating both masculine and feminine traits and rich life experiences. It operates purposefully and exists as a unified whole. We now turn to group psychology related to Jung's collective unconscious. In public settings, people often unconsciously imitate others' behaviors, for instance, standing up or clapping when others do so. Sociologist Gabriel Tarde attributed such phenomena to human imitation, even stating that society is imitation, and the imitation is a form of somnambulism. American scholar Edward Ross further explained this as an escalating stimulus-response process. People influence one another under suggestion. Mutual influence renders absurd suggestions more capable of stirring crowds and triggering riots. Riots, in turn, strengthen people's trust in such suggestions, ultimately driving group behavior toward fanaticism. Individuals within a crowd undergo profound psychological shifts under group influence, marked by marked intellectual decline and reliance on the group. Imitation arises from two main sources: emotional contagion, which lowers self-control and produces excessive conduct, and behavioral contagion, where actions spread from one person to another. Social contagion occurs most readily when group members share similar attitudes, interests, and values. In this process, individuals experience loss of personal identity, sometimes barely knowing what they are doing. They may commit acts that contradict their inner moral standards and would never take under normal circumstances. The anonymity effect plays a key role. Freed from personal identification, individuals dare to engage in reckless behavior. Such phenomena recur throughout history, exemplified by mob conduct and the banality of evil among ordinary Nazi officers. Submitting to group orders and abandoning personal judgment, they participated in collective irrational acts. Gustave Le Bon, the French social psychologist, conducted in-depth research on these phenomena and authored the classic work Times. The Crowd, a study of the popular mind asterisk, regarded as the foundational text of crowd psychology. Le Bon maintained that crowds consist of psychologically homogeneous individuals whose behavior differs sharply from individual conduct. Crowd unconscious behavior results from the combined forces of group anonymity, herd mentality, and leader-led suggestion. Key crowd characteristics include asterisk, submergence of individuality. Upon merging into a crowd, individuals tend towards psychological conformity, abandon individuality and independent critical thinking, and adopt unified group beliefs. Asterisk, emotional contagion. Crowd emotions are highly contagious and impulsive. Individuals lose rationality as moods and ideas spread rapidly to unify group conduct. Asterisk, intellectual deterioration. Within crowds, people lose independent reasoning and become blindly impulsive. Crowds possess limited reasoning capacity and favor simple notions and symbols over complex abstract concepts. Asterisk, emotionalism and extremism. Crowds are emotionally susceptible, volatile, and inconsistent, prone to extreme, fanatical, and even violent behavior. Asterisk, suggestibility. Crowds are suggestible and credulous, characterized by irrationality and blind conformity. Leaders wield tremendous influence to manipulate group actions. Asterisk, morality and conduct. Crowd behavior may be destructive, yet it can also display noble self-sacrifice. Group morality becomes simplified, tending toward extreme binary judgments of good and evil. To conclude, here are the similarities and differences between Jung's collective unconscious and Le Bon's crowd psychology. Similarities. Both stress the significance of the unconscious in human conduct. Both Jung's collective unconscious and Le Bon's crowd unconscious hold that unconscious factors shape individual behavior and decision-making. Both maintain that unconscious contents find outward expression. Jung's archetypes surface in dreams and cultural symbols, while Le Bon's crowd unconscious manifests through group actions. Differences between Jung's collective unconscious and Le Bon's crowd psychology. Number theoretical background. Jung's collective unconscious derives from analysis of individual mental structures and belongs to psychology and psychoanalysis. Le Bon's crowd unconscious investigates social group psychological phenomena and falls under social psychology. Number views on individual-group relations. For Jung, the collective unconscious forms part of the individual unconscious. Individuals gradually internalize its contents during growth while retaining consciousness and reason, capable of recognizing and coping with collective unconscious influences to varying degrees. For Le Bon, individuals lose their individuality and independent thinking once absorbed into a crowd. Number objects of study. Jung focuses on universal human psychological patterns and archetypes present within all human psyches. Le Bon focuses on behavioral changes of individuals within groups and how groups reshape individual minds and actions. Number core arguments. Jung regards the collective unconscious as humanity's shared psychological heritage, with positive developmental potential for individuals. Le Bon argues that crowd unconsciousness robs people of rationality, and group behavior frequently carries negative, destructive tendencies. I am Wu Huaiyu, a PhD from the Chinese Academy of Sciences and a postdoctoral fellow from Peking University, and the founder of AI philosophy. For more detailed information, please refer to the complete version of this book. In addition to this short video, you can also click on my avatar to view more long videos.